Right, so today I'm back with another deck profile. I'm going to do my drifter deck today. We will run through the deck and then I will go through why I use the cards I use in a few plays I like to do. So to get started, we run Archivist Cardsmith, and then for our creature lineup, we run Talal, Yvonne, Drawer, Irokne, Iruk, which will be getting swapped out with the new promo Odd New when it releases, Lativ, Morgana, and finally Offner. And that's our 8 creatures. And then we run the standard 3 library cards, which every drifter deck pretty much needs. And then we have 2 Breaking Helvers, 2 Sands of the Broken Timepiece, 2 manuscripts, 2 chains, and 1 copy of Unsummon. And that is all our symmetries. It's just a standard 20 card deck. So the aim of the deck is to get Offney out as fast as possible with our 3 library cards on field, as once Offney's out you've got all the effects underneath it. So you've got a Rook, what allows you to gain life points, but that's not important to this deck. You have Irokne, which can attack all your opponent's creatures once each. You have Drawer, which you can add any amount of energy to your stack in the energy phase. A Vom, what allows you to move an energy pile to it once per turn, and that's also in your opponent's turn. And Talar, which gives Summoning Sickness. And then on top of that we have Offney, which is pretty much immune to anything except battle. But to compensate for that, that is why we run the 2 manuscripts. So that attacking into Offney becomes very hard, as I can make him not lose any life points. Not make him lose any energy, sorry. And then the reason we run Archivist Cardsmith is because once you've got your established board, you've essentially only got 2 manuscripts, the 1 Unsummon, the double chains, the sands, and the Breaking Helvers left in deck. Now, as long as Cardsmith's there, whenever one of your symmetries or creatures get targeted by an opponent, you can activate any symmetry you want from your graveyard and use it immediately. So that gives us mirror match negation. So this is as long as you've got a Breaking Helver in hand or grave, this is pretty much immune to all other drifters. You've got Sands of the Broken Timepiece to stop your opponent from using any symmetry for a turn, and then once it's in the graveyard, if they try reusing it next turn, this can just get the same sand straight back to stop it all over again. Chains to stall our opponent from attacking if we don't have Offney or the manuscripts. And again, if your opponent targets your creature or symmetry, you can just activate chains from your graveyard. Unsummon is there primarily for the mirror match, but it can also disrupt a lot of plays. And then the 2 manuscripts to keep your creature alive while you try to get Offney out. And again, if your opponent targets anything on your field, you can cast manuscripts straight from the graveyard all over again. And once you've got this board established, these are the only remaining cards in your deck. So for example, if you deck recycle, you're going to draw into an Unsummon, manuscript, and manuscript. So essentially, you can play manuscripts, it can go to the grave, your opponent targets anything, you can use it all over again. But it makes Offney pretty much immune. And then once they're all in the grave, they're retargetable. And then next turn, you're going to get more stall, more draw, more mirror match negation. It's pretty powerful. I do find that Cardsmith seems to be looked over for the drifter that pays a life point to negate an ability, but Cardsmith is very good. It essentially makes your graveyard a complete second resource. So if you lose any of your library cards, cardsmith can get them back, so you don't have to wait for a recycle. Yeah, it's I don't know how much more I can explain about it, because it's a very straightforward deck, which is just trying to get Ofni out and make him as big as possible to attack into everything, due to the Arachne underneath allowing you to attack all your opponent's creatures, and then the library giving you 1 extra attack to try and swing direct. And you just give him, is essentially, these are just there to give him extra protection. And like I said, once he's out, these are all what's left in your deck. So your opponent is always going to have to be using their resources and trying the best to stop everything you draw into, because everything left in your deck is either going to stop them from attacking, it's going to make it so it doesn't matter if they attack, or it's going to be negating their symmetries which are trying to disrupt you. And it just becomes a very big fortress style deck, which is very fun to play but not very fun to play against if it establishes its board. And with the Drifter archetype, your 3 library cards what search, and your Morgana which searches once per turn every time it transforms, and your Lativ which can end the turn immediately and just give you a second turn before your opponent has one, allows you to very quickly establish your board of archive creatures. And then once that's done, it's very hard for your opponent to get over you. But yeah, that's the deck profile. Sorry for rambling. It's hard to explain this deck too much. It's very simple on what it's trying to do. But it's a lot of fun to play with. It wins me a lot of matches. And leave a comment and let me know what you think. Let me know if I described it too badly, because I do these very unscripted. So I tend to just end up rambling. But yeah, thank you for watching.